Hey everyone and welcome to Storytime. My name is Jake and today we are going to look at the subreddit r/entitledparents, where people tell us their stories of crazy mums and dads who think they're entitled just because they have kids. If you're new around here, please do hit subscribe down below so that you never miss out on another video. But for now, let's sit back, relax, and enjoy some Reddit stories. Entitled mother let her 3-year-old kid alone in the pool and gets mad at me, the lifeguard. So during summer holidays, I work as a lifeguard in a swimming pool. This story is not from this summer, but the year before. I worked in the only pool of a small town, but as this was the only big pool for around 30 kilometers, we had lots of people. We reached 1,000 entries in a single day once. There was 4 different basins in the pool. The regular 25-meter swimming lanes, a smaller one which is 15 meters, a more shallow basin for kids to play, and a really shallow one for toddlers. We also had a separate area with jacuzzis, sauna, and hammam. Edit, that are also known as a Turkish bath apparently. Well, hammam is a Turkish word. Where childs were not permitted entry. So, the story. As I was on my chair, I was scanning the area when I saw this young woman with her child, no more than 3 years old. She had the typical, I dropped out of college to care for my son and I am more important than you look. I did not really care at the time. For me, she was just a regular client amongst the nameless mass. But a few moments later, she walked past me to the spa area alone. I started to look around and saw the kid, wandering aimlessly just next to the water, starting to run around looking for his mother. I think it was a little boy, although I don't 100% remember that. That cannot be good, I thought. I went to talk to the kid, when, after running around, the kid fell in the deep pool. I instantly grabbed the lifeguard tube we used to get people out of the water and carried him safely on a chair so he could get dried. Mind you, quite a lot of people were massing around us, including one of my colleagues, whom I asked to go get the lady. Enters entitled mother. As soon as entitled mother sees her kid sitting on a chair, she rushes to him and slapped him dead hard across the face. Needless to say, everyone was shocked. I grabbed her and pushed her away, and tried to talk to her. The conversation went approximately like this. What are you doing? Why are you slapping him? Are you crazy? He's a little disobedient brat. I told him not to. I was completely puzzled. Not to do what? Go in the water, dummy! He doesn't know how to swim. Why would he go in the water? I told him to wait for me. At this moment, I started to get angry. Unlike most people I see posting here, I do not mind confrontation at all. I basically told her that what she did was completely stupid and irrational, and that one must be an idiot to expect a 3-year-old to obey like that. I'm pretty sure I said it in more professional terms, but you get it. She then proceeded to turn the fault to me. Also, why didn't you prevent him from getting in the water? Are you even a real lifeguard? You should be watching over him. I pointed to the pool and told her, see all these people here? I can watch over him just like I can watch over the hundreds of children I see each day. No more, no less. After that, she got out of the pool, screaming and shouting insults at me and my colleagues. I told my boss about it, and the pool is now closed to her. No dramatic ending. Oh yeah, and the kid turned out fine. He had the time to drink a bit of water, but none of it went the wrong way, so it was fine. Edit, since a lot of people are telling me to report her to CPS right now, chill guys, this was 1 year ago. Also, I signaled it to my boss who wrote a report. Why do I feel like she wanted the kid to wander into the pool? I don't know, that's like a really evil thing to think, but I don't know, I don't put it past him. Florida? Check. Trailer park? Check. Alligator in the pool? Check. Entitled parents? You betcha. Some people just do not understand the role of a lifeguard. I worked as one for 2 summers on the early morning weekday 6 to 10 AM shift, and had very few customers because the trailer park/RV resort I worked at was a sad affair, mostly populated in the winter by snowbirds anyway. The few customers I had who were in the RV park on vacation were almost universally horrid. The most memorable beyond your usual ones, who didn't want me to tell their kids to stop running or didn't like the no glass bottles on the pool deck rule, were these. Number 1. An entitled mum tried to drop off 2 kids under the age of 6. When I told her she couldn't do that, she called me lazy. Since I had no other customers, why couldn't I watch her kids? Because I was a lifeguard, not a babysitting service. Because it would violate our insurance policy. Because other people could theoretically show up and I'd need to watch them in the pool. She proceeded to get all huffy and insist, "But I'm on vacation too. I deserve a vacation." Well, maybe you shouldn't have had kids, but at this point, hire a babysitter. Somewhere in here, I got the hard to be a single parent rant. She eventually told me to watch them and just walked off. So, I called the police per our policy on abandoned children, which I just made up on the spot. This place was not together enough to have a policy for that. She was not pleased with the resulting visit from multiple authorities, cops, and child services. She did try to go to the manager of the resort to complain, but he was perpetually drunk or hungover. That was not a useful escalation path, to put it mildly. Number 2. We often had some local kids break into the pool overnight to party. Usually when this happened, they just left beer cans around and the gate open. Whatever. Anything solved with a trash bag isn't a big deal. However, this time the gate being left open resulted in an alligator in the pool. My manager being useless, see above, I locked up the pool area, put out the closed sign I used during my breaks, and called Fish and Wildlife Services. Now, if you've ever called Fish and Wildlife Services about an alligator in your pool, hi Floridians, you know they aren't going to come quick. It was my bad luck that this was one of the rare days somebody tried to use the pool at the crack of dawn. Worse, it was an entitled woman with 3 kids whose full tilt showed up at 6:15 in the morning, with everybody in swimsuits, water wings, a giant pool lounger and cooler. I politely explained that the pool was closed due to an alligator having gotten in it overnight, and the father went full rage monster on my tiny 17-year-old self. I'm talking red-faced, screaming, punched shrubbery, yeah, that looked as silly as you think, and basically demanded I open the pool immediately for him. Did he want to swim with the alligator? I didn't ask, fearing the answer might be yes. I repeatedly politely explained the situation as he got angrier and angrier. He actually demanded I get in and remove the alligator myself. How about no? Eventually, he demanded a refund. I could not do that and tried to send him to my manager. Lol, see above. He insisted I was the one refusing him service, so I had to give him his refund and tell him exactly when the pool would be reopened. Neither were possible. They were on vacation and they were there to swim. Plus, he wanted me to store all their pool stuff in our clubhouse. It was a glorified shed with an outdoor shower on the back. Of course, I could not do that for liability reasons. He wound up throwing all his stuff in front of the clubhouse door and storming off to find my manager. I don't believe he ever did. If nobody was scheduled to check in or out, that was not gonna happen. I loaded the abandoned property in my golf cart and drove it to the main office, where I locked it in the manager's office per policy that I'd just made up. Fish and Wildlife did eventually come and relocate the alligator sometime after my shift was over. The family never did retrieve their stuff successfully, nor did they get a refund. Turned out our real policy on abandoned property was to take what you wanted and toss the rest in the dumpster. Number 3. The groundskeeper was no more reliably sober than the manager. One morning while I was on duty, he'd been in the hooch quite a bit, possibly since the night before. He got distracted and drove the big riding mower straight through the chain link fence and into the pool. Nobody was using it at the time. He swam out and wasn't hurt one bit. I locked up, put out my closed sign, then stood around with the drunk groundskeeper staring at the mower in the pool in vague horror. Oil, gas, and grass clippings from it had seeped out and floated to the top. The whole thing looked like a huge mess. I had no idea who to call for this one. The groundskeeper was drunk enough to think it was hilarious and had a giggle fit. I got the drunk guy off the pool deck, always a good idea, and tried to call down to the main office to my manager. That failed as hard as it always did for customers. This was beyond me, so I plopped down in a chair outside the gaping hole in the fence to make sure nobody went in. Because Murphy's Law is legit, a pre-Karen's Karen with a bad 80s perm shows up. She and her kids wanted to go swimming. I explained the situation. She screamed and yelled at me. They'd paid for a pool, they were on vacation, and she'd promised her kids swimming. They were going to swim. She literally insisted I was lying about the mower in spite of the obviously wrecked fence and demanded to go inside to swim with her kids. She was on vacation. I couldn't possibly deny her kids their rightful time swimming. They'd been promised. Eventually, she physically shoved me aside and went over the wrecked fence, only to see that there really was a giant riding mower in the pool. Her shriek of horror was music to my ears. She demanded a refund. She demanded a voucher for somewhere else to take them swimming. She demanded I be fired, to me, which was extra random as nobody else was around by then. She finally, blissfully, ran off to my manager, threatening to sue for I'm not sure what. Pre-Karen Karen got nowhere with my manager. Surprise. Turns out this was not the first time this had happened. My worthless manager actually knew a guy who had construction equipment that could pull the mower out of the pool. It was closed for about 2 weeks for removal and repairs, which were shockingly minor. I still got paid to hang out there and do nothing most days because I also run the mini golf course, which was just as sad as the rest of the resort. Sadly, I was not on shift during the removal because that was almost certainly entertaining. This job sounds really eventful, but most days I sat in the clubhouse and read library books. More happened on the city bus I took to and from work than at work. Great little gig. Wow, well that sounds like they're making absolutely no money. I don't understand, how are they profiting there? No, I won't move my reserved seat. Your child is 23 and doesn't need to sit with you. I was traveling on a train yesterday afternoon, back from seeing some friends. I was basically traveling the entire length of the route with a journey around 9 hours, going over 450 miles north, so a long time. I had reserved a seat for the whole journey, with the seat next to me switching from being reserved for some of the journey for an hour or two, then being vacant. At around hour 6 of my journey, the train was becoming very busy, with families going home from day trips out. The next stop saw the person sitting next to me depart, a woman who was looking and acting as if the group of scraggy students, like me, and families with little ones were far beneath her, got on with a woman who looked my age, who were both looking around for a seat. The older woman, hereafter entitled mother, saw the space next to me and made a beeline for it, with the other woman, entitled kid, in tow. This is the conversation that followed. Hi, I think you're in my daughter's seat. Oh, really? I'm pretty sure this is the seat I reserved. Doesn't it say so on the display? The train I was on had an automatic display saying whether or not the seat was deserved. My seat said it was reserved from my departure station to my arrival, while the seat next to me said it next became reserved at a station about an hour away. No, the screen's gone off. These are the seats for me, an entitled kid. Now move. At this, I got out of my seat to look at the screen, which still said it was reserved, and quickly sat back down. Nope, it still says it's my seat. The seat next to me seems free for a while if one of you wants to sit down. Why can't you just move? We're probably traveling further than you anyway. Sorry, but I'm really not gonna move. Entitled mother now raising her voice to attract the attention of others. I can't believe you won't have the dignity to let me sit next to my child. She can't just go and sit on her own. Me to entitled kid, how old are you? 23, so probably older than you. You really should do what I say. I'm 21 and look it. Seriously? I won't move from my reserved seat. Your child is 23 and doesn't need to sit with you. I was feeling petty and so rose my voice to mimic entitled mother when saying this. That's it, we're getting the staff. I will not be spoken to like this by a child. With that, they both left the carriage, and I didn't hear anything from any member of staff or anyone else. Though a lovely little old lady who was sitting across from me said that she would have probably sworn like a sailor at entitled mother and entitled kid if they'd spoken to her like that when they'd gotten out of earshot. The icing on the cake was when the train stopped around a half an hour later. So 2 stops after entitled mother and entitled kid got on, I saw them both getting off and walking up the platform. It took everything not to give them a little wave as they skulked past. Wait, so their logic is their 23-year-old child can't sit on her own, but she can also tell someone younger than her to go and sit on their own. What? Hey everyone, I hope you all had a really good day and that you enjoyed that video. If you want to check out some other videos, then click on screen right now or check out the playlist down below. If you enjoyed that video, then please do leave a like. And if you want to submit your own stories, then you can do so by joining the Discord in the top link in the description. But thank you so much for watching and I will see you very soon.